Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Carlisle United Career Mode Save. This is episode number 22, and first and foremost I would like to say sorry for going AWOL for a long period of time. I think more than a week. Yeah, a little over a week. I was celebrating Deepavali and I just took a little time off everything, including the PS4 and FIFA and editing and so on, just to celebrate and also enjoy my time with my family. But we are back here again, and to start off today's episode, we have the first game against Burton Albion. We are playing away against them, and we are playing at the back of a winning streak. If you guys remember from the previous episode, we won 4 games in a row, one of it being in the EFL trophy game. So there's 3 wins in the league and 1 win in the EFL trophy, 4 wins in all competitions. But for some reason, in today's episode, I don't know if it's something to do with not playing for a decent amount of time. I don't know, a week. Is it a long period of time? I'm not too sure, but just starting to play the game again after some time just made me a little bit more nervous than usual. And you can see that in the start of the game, where we did concede very early on in about the 15th minute, and it took us almost 60 to 70 minutes to equalize through Pereira there, and I had to cut back from the right wing after trying multiple times throughout the game. And towards the end of the game, we tried to score the winning goal, but Burton did attack, and we almost conceded in the very last minute with Oliver Murphy, the youth academy product, the goalkeeper, giving the ball directly to the Burton striker, and thankfully our defenders got in the way, or we would have had our first loss of the episode, and also our first loss in 4 or 5 games or so. But we took the draw, and that left us in the 3rd position in the table. We were first just 1 match week ago, and that just shows you guys how tight it is in League 1 and how difficult it is in League 1, especially if you drop your standards, you don't concentrate enough like I did right here, where we concede very early on once again against Newport County. We will suffer in terms of form, in terms of positions in the league table, so on and so forth. But once again, we concede very early on, and I tried to put us back onto level terms with Brewster straight from kickoff, forcing a save from the Newport County goalkeeper. But it was very tough to break Newport down, and they came rushing again through the left wing this time around, and almost got their second goal if it wasn't for their poor finishing, and that was the case throughout the match, to be honest. And it was just a case of us being very lucky in terms of not conceding more, and very unlucky in terms of not being able to finish our own chances. So both teams were pretty poor with their finishings, but it was us who were suffering the most because Newport took their lead very early on. Despite that, I kept trying to push for a goal, but at the same time, Newport kept forcing our hands into multiple saves as they exploited our defense whenever we go for an attack. They use our ideas to get goals, which is the fast-paced counter-attacks. They use similar tactics to get back at us, and they almost profited a few times. And if it wasn't for our goalkeeper, Colin, and also for if it wasn't for their poor finishing, of course, they would have had a bigger margin in terms of goals. But if you would have noticed earlier, Brewster had a couple of chances, one of it where he hits the crossbar, and yeah, again, I think it's just myself having not played the game for quite some time, just being nervous and also just trying to get back into the game, which kind of sucks because we had a really good run of form. We were undefeated for 6 games, and we had our winning streak, which ended in the previous game, which we drew 1-1. But we had a 6-game undefeated streak, and that just went to waste against Newport. But coming back into the first of the month, where we receive our new update for the scouting reports and so on, there wasn't much once again in all aspects, but there was one player we picked up in the Australian report, where it was Toby Turner, who's a left midfielder. We didn't pick up anyone in Korea, and we didn't pick up anyone in England as well, as we did scout a couple of players further, but once again it was a subpar scouting report. Just one player we picked up, but he looks pretty decent, and he seems like he could give competition for Connor Morgan, the English player we picked up in the previous youth scout reports. And Toby Turner, hopefully he becomes a decent player along with Connor Morgan, and hopefully everyone in the youth squad turn out to be decent players where we can use them for our upcoming games and also for the future of Carlisle United. But still, going to the next game of the episode, the third game against Luton Town, the same starting 11 as before, the strongest starting 11 available to us. And
now this is an interesting attack.
yeah, the whole nervous thing that I told you guys about, it continued, and we almost conceded very early on once again in about the 12th minute, where it was a narrow miss from Monker. But in about the 35th minute, Luton Town was storming down the left wing, and to be fair, we did intercept a couple of passes, but once again, trying to play out from the back, we give the ball away, and Ampanzu score from just outside the box, just inside the box, into the top left corner, where Colin can't get his hand onto the ball. And it was a tough game, and we could have gone 2-0 down very early in the second half. Just past the hour mark in the second half, where Jervis hits the post, and towards the end of the game we had a very, very good chance to get the equalizer, but it was Ryan Brewster once again hitting the post this time, and the game ends in a 1-0 loss. And that's twice now where we try our level best to get back on level terms, and we keep hitting the post or the bar or just generally miss. And my finishing has gone from pretty good to very poor in the last 2-3 games, and hoping to rectify all of that, we take on Peterborough in the next game in the EFL Trophy, the area quarterfinal if I'm not mistaken. And very early on this happened. I thought that should have been a straight red, but upon looking at the replays, he might have been just on the line where he handled the ball. Very, very lucky. Well, there's no VAR, so if it was in real life, Gray would have been sent off with a red card there. But still, we move on, and we do concede 6 minutes after the free kick. Yeah, I have no idea how that floated into the back of the net. I was very sure that Gray could have gotten a hand onto that ball, but yeah, no idea how that floated into the back of the net, and we could have conceded 2 goals if it wasn't for poor finishing. And it was also some poor finishing from Brewster once again, missing from very close range in about the 30th minute, but doesn't make the same mistake again in the second half, just before the hour mark, where Oscar Mason wins back the ball just outside Peterborough's box and feeds it into Brewster, who scores into the left-hand corner. And just before the 75th minute mark, we got very, very lucky with this goal. I will be the first to admit it. Arthur scores his second of the competition, the first one where he had the beautiful chip against QPR. This isn't that beautiful, it's a little scrappy, but we do take the lead just before the 75th minute. We try to hold on to our lead, our very slender lead. Peterborough were trying very, very hard to get the equalizer, and it was so frustrating. This was so frustrating. There is nothing Gray could have done about this. The rebound is just in front of the striker, and it was 2-2 at the end, and we move on to penalties. And in the penalties, yeah, you don't try the Panenka in a EFL trophy quarterfinal. Please don't do that again. That just flew over the bar, and it was very unfortunate for them. But still, that was very fortunate for us, where it hit the post, hit the goalkeeper, and went in. I was so stressed out throughout the entire penalty shootout, because we were on a poor run of games and we needed a win. Technically it was a 2-2 draw at the end, but a win in the penalty shootout would definitely lift the mood for us. And towards the end, I had little to no confidence that Tyler Mason, our new left wing, would score the penalty, and I didn't have confidence at all that Grant, our lowest rated centre back, could score a penalty. But he thumps it into the back of the net, and everything was left to Lewis Gray, who saves the last penalty and wins the game for us at the end. And what a win it was for Carlisle United. A massive pickup for all of us involved at Carlisle, and hopefully that win propels us into a much better form in the next episode. And that's where we'll end today's episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.